So Austin, you inherited $500 from your great-grandma. What are you going to do with it?
Buy lollies.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of lollies. What else do you want to buy?
Buy Ferrari.
You mean a real race car?
Yeah.
I don't think you can afford it. It's about, I think the cheapest one is like 400,000. But you can buy shares of a Ferrari company. How about that?
Yeah.
Do you know what a share is?
No.
If you buy shares, you buy one share, you become the partial owner of that company. So technically, if you own enough shares, you become the owner of the company. Or if the company makes money, they generally will share their profit with you. And if your share price goes up, then you're going to earn money from it. So you agree that mommy will buy shares of a Ferrari company?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to my channel. My name's Irene. So my kids inherited $500 each from their great-grandma. Like what many parents would do, my husband and I would like to use this fund to help them build their wealth. And on top of that, we would like to take this opportunity to teach them about money and investing. So hopefully by the time that we pass the funds to them, not only they have a small deposit for their first home, but also they will be equipped with the right money mindset and the skills to keep it going. There's a Chinese saying, 授之以鱼不如授之以渔, meaning to teach them the fishing skill is better than to give them the fish. So my plan is to get them fully involved in picking the stocks and checking their portfolios from time to time. So during the process, they will slowly get the idea of the time value of money and learn to delay that gratification and get the compound interest work for them. So when they become adults, hopefully they will not borrow money by using credit card or apps like Afterpay or Zip to buy depreciative things that they don't necessarily need, to please people they don't necessarily like. And look, compound interest is not a theory that invented by a weirdo that you're trying to brainwash your kid. It's proven science. Basically, it's math. If you plan to use stocks to teach your kid about money and investing, be prepared that it might take a couple of years to get their mindset rooted with the time value of money and get their investing become their habit. Because I even found it hard to get my adult friends on board with this concept, let alone a 5-year-old and 2-year-old kids. At the end of the day, they have to really truly believe in it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the discipline to keep it going. But during the process, hopefully that you'll have a little bit fun with your kids, and it's a great opportunity to teach them math. And speaking of math, we all want our kid to be successful academically, so it's more likely for them to land on a higher pay job, so their rat racing game officially starts. The reality is, you can't get rich by working for someone, but majority of our kids will be ordinary people working for someone. Only minority of them will become entrepreneurs that someone works for. So it's very important for them to land on a job that they truly love, because they can't get rich or they can't be richer than their boss. But am I saying that most of our kids who trade their time for money has no hope at all in building their wealth? The answer is no, especially they start early. Because working for someone for the day job doesn't stop them from exploring other passive income streams. If you look at those wealthy people, they all have multiple income streams coming to them. And investing definitely is one of the greatest tools to leverage their capital. If you still don't believe me, I'm going to show you some numbers in my Excel, which I firstly saw the numbers from reading the book Barefoot for Kids. It got me wondered how the numbers turn out for my kids. So for example, my elder one is 5 years old at the moment, and we take, to be conservative, 7% as the average compound interest and minus 1% fee, which is really high, but I just want to be a little bit conservative. So he's got 1,500 at the moment from the inheritance. Say he's going to put in 100 at the end of each year into this fund without the interest compounding. So by the time that he turns 13, he will have 2,500 $2,300. From he's 14 years old, he can start to pick up some part-time job. At the end of each year, he will put $5,000 into his fund and get the interest compounding at 6%. And he will only do it for 10 years. So by the time he turns 23, the value of the fund will be $70,022.92. From 23 years old onwards, he will stop injecting any money into it, but he will put this investment account on autopilot and get the compounding still working until by the time he turns 60, he will have $604,724. So in total, his contribution is $50,000. Okay, that's his number. In comparison, for example, one of his mates only starts to invest at 23 years old, which is the year that they graduate from uni. So he will have the same initial amount, $2,300 to start with, and $5,000 injection at the end of the year. Guess how many years that he has to keep inputting $5,000 into the fund to reach roughly the same amount as my kid. That is when he turns 59 years old. So in total, his mate has to contribute $175,000, which is more than 3 times than the amount that my kid put in among 36 years. And can't you see the magic? Children in Australia can own shares, but it has to be done in a trust relationship, meaning the parents has to be the legal owner and the child is the beneficial owner. So in this video, I'm going to share the different options that I came across in deciding how to invest for my kids and what I ended up doing for them. And if you're considering to invest for your kid or your grandkid, your nephew and niece, can you give this video a compound like? And this will help my video to be seen by more people, and I really appreciate it. So how to invest for kids? The number one option is to open a broker account on the benefit of your child. To do this, follow the account opening process, and depending on the broker, that you may need to specify that this account is for the benefit of a child and the trust relationship is informal. And during the process, you need to provide the child's bank account and the TFN, the tax file number. The good thing about this option is that when it turns 18, the transfer of shares would not trigger any tax because the beneficial ownership of shares haven't changed. There are a couple of drawbacks of this option. First of all, like what I said, you need to provide the child's bank account and the tax file number. So it's a little bit hassle to set them up. If you're investing for yourself or for the family, and this will be a separate account, even with the same broker. So which means you might pay double management fees or double brokerage fee even for the same company trading. So you will not be able to do a bulk trading even for the same company. For the tax point of view, the income for children from employment is taxed as the adult marginal tax rate. Income from investment for children can be taxed as high as 66%. Obviously, children don't have much income. So what ATO is doing here, they set a really high marginal tax rate. It's almost like penalty. It's just to prevent the parents to take advantage of the tax-free threshold and putting the assets under the child's name. The second option is the adult buys the shares and gives them to the child. The good thing about this option is that it pretty much solves the problems of option 1, that you can manage your shares and the shares to be gifted to the child in one account. So you don't have to pay double account fee, and you may be able to save some brokerage fee if you do bulk trading. And of course, there's no penalty tax rate because this account is not under a child's name. But when you give the shares to the child, it will trigger the tax because it's considered that you selling the shares. So you either need to pay capital gain tax or you have capital gain loss. If you research more, you must have come across with an investment product called investment bond or insurance bond. This is not the fixed income asset class. It's actually a combination of a mutual fund plus an insurance policy. So this mutual fund could be an actively managed fund or passive index fund. People who are looking for investing for a child or a tax efficient way outside their super normally consider investment bond because of 2 reasons. First, it allows you to invest on behalf of a child and ownership will be automatically transferred to them at a future date that you set. Second, it is a tax-paid investment. The tax is already paid by the issuer at the current company tax rate 30%. So if you're gonna hold it for more than 10 years, you will not need to pay any tax on the dividend or the capital gains. Well, these are the go-to reasons for investment bonds, but let me tell you why I prefer ETFs than investment bonds, and also you should give it a second thought if you're considering it. Well, at first glance, the tax pay feature of investment bonds seems to be very attractive, but the capital gain is included and the tax is paid by the issuer every year without you knowing it. But these are already built in to the fees and returns. On the other hand, any personal held investment, you get the chance to delay the capital gain tax because you are only reliable for the capital gain tax when you sell the assets. So the delay of the capital gain tax will give you more compound returns than investment bonds. And the second reason I don't like this product is the flexibility. To enjoy the tax benefits of investment bonds, you need to hold it for more than 10 years. But for ETFs, you can sell it whenever the time is favorable to you. For example, in a lower income year. The very reason of investment bond that really put me off is the fees and returns. The average 5-year growth return of investment bonds is about 5% or just below 5%. And the management fee plus the investment fees is normally over 1%, which is really high. So as usual, I want to run the numbers just to show you the net returns between, say, a passive index ETF versus an investment bond, even considering the tax benefit of an investment bonds. For example, we have 10,000 as an initial investment. One lives in an index ETF VAS, which is an index ETF that tracks top 300 Aussie companies under the parent's name, and one lives in the investment bond. We only withdraw after 10 years and all income is reinvested. For the VAS, the 5-year annualized return of VAS is about 10.16%. So we minus the 0.1% fee. To be a little bit conservative, I'll just make it a 10% and 2% from dividend and 8% from capital gain. And for investment bonds, we set it as 5% as the return and 1% as the fee. So it's give us a net returns of 4% interest. The value after 10 years for VAS is about $25,937. And for the investment bond is about $14,802. So that gives us the value after tax is $20,544 for VAS, and investment bond is $14,802. So we can see a passive index ETF outperform 47% in terms of returns than the investment bond. At first glance, investment bonds do look very attractive, and also, you can transfer the ownership of shares to your child in the future that you set, but the cost is really high and the return is really low. Even adults with the highest marginal tax rate is better off investing in an ETF. That's why I ended up buying shares and ETFs for my kids under my broker account, and I specify their portfolio value accurately in a Excel sheet. They actually didn't only buy Ferrari shares, they bought other 2 companies' shares, and I selected a couple of ETFs just to diversify their portfolios. So if you're interested to check it out, I'll share their portfolio on my Patreon page. All right, that's it for today. My name's Irene, and hopefully that you gain some information on how to invest for your kids, and I'll see you next week. Bye.